शुक्लां भरतरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्वजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிருக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தயே ஜகதः பிதரௌ வந்தே பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வரௌ. ஸ்ரீ பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வராभ्यां நமः. कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने. കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ട തോറും പ്രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കനായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we'll start with the review of 29 today. Madhu, can you do one half, and Viji, can you do the other half? 29. Okay.
Yeah. Om Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Dasakam 29. Deva Nama Amrutopalabdhi Prakara Varnanam Mohini Avataram. Udgachatastavakarādamrutam haratsu daityeshu tāna sharanānanuniya devan सद्यस्थिरो दधितदेव भवत्प्रभावात् उद्यत्स्वयूथ्य कलहादितिजा बभूवुः श्यामां रुचापि वयसापि तनुं तदानीं प्राप्तोऽसि तुङ्गकुचमण्डलभङ्गुरां त्वं पीयूषकुम्भकलहं परिमुच्य सर्वे तृष्णाकुलाः प्रतिययुस्त्वदुरोजकुम्भे का त्वं मृगाक्षि विभजस्व सुधामिमामिति आरूढरागविवशानभियाचतोमून् विश्वस्य ते मयि कथं कुलटास्मि दैत्याः इत्यालपन्नपि सुविश्वसिता न तानीः मोदात् सुधा कलशमेष ददत्सु सात्वं दुश्चेष्टितं मम सहध्वमिति ब्रुवाणा पङ्क्तिप्रभेदविनिवेशितदेव दैत्या लीलाविलासगतिभिः समदासुधां ताम् अस्मास्वीयं प्रयणिनीत्य
प्रणयिनीत्य
अस्मास्वीयं प्रणयिनीत्य सुरेषु तेषु जोषं स्थितेष्वथ समाप्य सुधां सुरेषु त्वं भक्तलोकवशगो निजरूपमेत्य स्वर्भानुमर्धपरिपीतसुधं व्यलावीः
त्वत्तः सुधाहरणयोग्यफलं परेषु दत्त्वा गते त्वयि सुरैः खलु ते व्यग्रनन् घोरेतमूर्च्छतिरणे बलिदैत्यमाया व्यमोहिते सुरगणे त्वमिहा विराशिः त्वं कालनेमि मतमालिमुखाञ्जगन्त चक्रो जगान बलिजम्बवलान् सपाकान् शुष्कार्द्रदुष्करवधे नमुचौचलूने फेनेन नारदगिरान्यरुणोरणं त्वं योषावपुर्दनुजमोहनमाहितं ते श्रुत्वा विलोकनकुतूहलवान् महेशः भूतैशमं गिरिजया च गतपदं ते स्तुत्वा ब्रवीडभिमतं त्वमतोतिरोदाः आरामशीमणि च कन्दुकघातलीला लोलाय माननयनां कमनीं मनोज्ञां त्वामेष वीक्ष्य विगलद्वसनां मनोभू वेगादनङ्गरिपुरङ्गसमालिलिङ्ग भूयोऽपि विधृतवतिमुपधाव्य देवो वीर्यप्रमोक्ष विकशत्परमार्थबोध त्वन्मानितस्त्वमहत्त्वमुवाच देव्यै तत्तादृशत्वमववातानिकेतनाथा श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
Vijay, in the second line, bodha, it ends with the visarga there. And then the last line, vata niketa nath. I think you said something different in the last word.
I said vatani.
Yeah, okay. Vata niketa, yeah.
ராஜேஷ் ஒரே ஒரு டவுட். அந்த துவம்கால 7th ஜெகந்தாக்கு விசர்க்கம் உண்டா இல்லையா?
இல்லங்க இல்ல.
என்னோட புக்ல இருக்கு.
Okay. All right, so we'll continue with 30. We'll finish 30 and 31 today. So 30, I think we finished up to 4 stanzas. We'll start with 5. Let me just see who I have today. So Lakshmi Garu, you can be, if you can be a student today. And then Padmaja Meikundam Garu, are you there? I know you were in India.
Yes,
okay.
yes,
Okay.
I am here.
Okay. Stanza 5. पुण्याश्रमं तमभिवर्षति पुष्पवर्षैः हर्षाकुले सुरगणे कृततूर्यघोषे बद्ध्वाञ्जलिं जय जयेति नुतः पितृभ्यां त्वं तत्क्षणे पटुतमं वटुरूपमाधाः. Just to give a context of where we are in 30, right? So we saw how after Dasakam 29, which happened in a completely different Manu. Now we have moved on to the Vaivasvata Manu. And now the Asuras have gotten strength again. So kind of it goes through a cycle, right? So, and Bali Maharaja, who's still leading the Asuras, has gotten more powerful. And then he performs this Vishwajit Yajna, which kind of has him controlling the power. So at that time, the Kashyapa and, Aditi, she's praying, saying that I need the Devas to get power. So Kashyapa teaches her the Payo Vratam, which she does. And then Bhagavan appears in front of her and says, I myself will take a birth. And then in stanza 4, he was then born, right? And when he was born, we saw how he was born with his Chatur Bhujam and he showed his full form, right, to Aditi and Kashyapa, saying it is me who is actually taking birth, right? And that's kind of where we ended in stanza 4. So in stanza 5, like it happens, right? Anytime an incarnation like this happens, then immediately all the other demigods and Brahma and all the other, the Siddhas, the all of them, they come to visit. They come to visit and pay homage. They're going to do a namaskaram, saying, okay, you've taken an avataram, so we kind of come and do a namaskaram, right? So that's what they come. They all come to the place of where Kashyapa and Aditi are there, and they offer their prostrations and everything. Now, the very similar to what's going to happen in Dashakam 37. The form is initially of that of a Chaturbhujam, but immediately it switches into the purpose of that incarnation. So here the purpose of the incarnation is to be like a small boy, which is like a brahmachari, right? So that is what is happening. You immediately will not take the form of a brahmachari, right? So this Vamana generally means a dwarf, right? Now dwarf, now it doesn't mean that in this case he's a old person who is appearing like a dwarf. It actually means he is like a small sized person. That's all it is, right? So he then takes a form of a small boy who's a brahmachari, because he's going to have Punal is going to have Upanyanam is going to happen in the next stanza. So Punyashramam Thamabhi Varshati Pushpa Varshaihi, put a visarga and comma there. Next, on top of the word Harsha Kule, there is a ir that will go away. So Harsha Kule Suragane Krita Turya Ghoshe Badvanjalim Jaya Jayeti Nutaha, put a F to join, Nutaf Pitrubhyam, comma, Tvam Tatkshane Patutamam Vatu Rupa Madhaha.
राजेश जी
Oh,
सेकंड
sorry.
लाइन सुर गणे के बदला सुर कुलेन कुर्ते
Okay, just change it to Gane for consistency. It means the same thing, which is in the clan of the Suras, clan of the Devas. So Punyashramam tamabhivarshati pushpavarshaihi harshakule suragane kritaturya ghoshe badvanjalim jaya jayeti nutah pitrubhyam tvam takshane patutamam vaturupamadhaha.
पुण्याश्रमं तमभिवर्षित पुष्पवर्षैः हर्षाकुले सुरगणे कृततूर्यघोषे भद्वाञ्जलिं जय जयेति नुतः पितृभ्यां त्वं तत्क्षणे पटुतं वटुरूपमादाः पुण्याश्रमं तमभिवर्षति पुष्पवर्षैः हर्षाकुले सुरगणे कृततूर्यघोषे भद्वाञ्जलिं जय जयेति नुतः पृथुभ्यां त्वं तत्क्षणे पटुतं वटुरूपमादाः.
That's last line, Patutamam.
Patutamam. Okay. Patutamam vaturupamadha.
Adaha. It's a visarga.
Madaha. Yeah.
पुण्याश्रमं तमभिवरति पुष्पवर्षैः हर्षाकुले सुरगणे कृततूर्यघोषे बद्ध्वाञ्जलिं जय जयेति नुतः पितृभ्यां त्वं तत्क्षणे पटुतमं वटुरूपमाधाः पुण्याश्रमं तमभिवरति पुष्पवर्षैः हर्षाकुले सुरगणे कृततूर्यघोषे बद्ध्वाञ्जलिं जय जयेति नुतः पितृभ्यां त्वं तत्क्षणे पटुतं वटुरूपमाधाः.
Go to the first line, middle word, Tamabhivarshati.
Okay. तमभिवर्षति पुष्पवर्षैः
Yeah, that's it. तावत् प्रजापतिमुखैरुपनीयमौञ्जी दण्डाजिनाक्षवलयादिभिरर्च्यमानः देदीप्यमानवपुरीशकृताग्निकार्यः त्वं प्रास्थिता बलिगृहं प्रकृताश्वमेधम्. Like we said, these are like all Leela avatars, which means like unlike Rama avataram, Krishna avataram, it doesn't go through the entire life, right? So immediately he becomes takes the form of a small boy. So next, what Kashyapa has to do is he's a brahmachari in this case. He's a Brahmana boy. So he has to then go through the Upanayanam, right? So Kashyapa then does the Upanayanam, and it talks in Bhagavatam beautifully about when you are doing the Upanayanam for the Lord, then of course the greatest of everybody has to come and present things, right? So it talks about how the Surya Bhagavan himself comes and he tells the Gayatri mantra. The Brihaspati, who's the ultimate guru, he comes and offers the Poonal, right? The Maunji that is there. Then Brahma, all these Brahmin boys, they carry like a kamandalam and then they carry a stick, right? So Brahma himself comes and offers that kamandalam. Then Saraswati Devi comes and gives the Rudraksha beads, which is there. And then in the Upanayanam originally when they put a deer skin. So it says how Mother Earth, she comes and gives a deer skin. So each of them comes and offers Vamana one of the attributes of what a brahmachari has to carry, right? And then he has to then go and take diksha. So for that he needs like a pot, right? For that, so that is being offered to him. And and Parvati Devi comes and offers the first diksha, right, to Vamana. So like that they go on describing. So now he's become like a proper Brahmana, and now he's ready. So once he has all of this, he now decides, okay, time for me, because Bali Maharaja is conducting the 100th Ashwamedha Yajna. And like we said, the moment you complete 100 Ashwamedha Yajna, you become the next Indra. So Indra was already losing power. Now his post is also at risk, right? So now, you decide to go to the place where Bali Maharaja is doing the 100th Yajna. So Tavat Prajapati Mukhair, we can break at the tra there, Prajapati Mukhair, Upaniya Maunji, put a plus, Dhandajinaksha, you can break at that point, Dhandajinaksha, Valayadi Bhirarchyamanaha, you cannot break that, so Valayadi Bhirarchyamanaha, Dedipyamana Vapurisha Kritagni Karyaha, put a visarga and comma there after Karyaha. Next line, if you have a is, that will go away. Tvam prastita bali griham prakrutashvamedam. So prakrita ashvamedam there. Kritagni agni karyam. So you perform samida dhanam and all the agni karyam. So you're performing all of that and you decide to leave. Tavat prajapati mukairupaniyya maunji dandhajinakshavalaya bhirarchyamanaha देदीप्यमान वपुरीशकृताग्निकार्यः त्वं प्रास्थिता बलिगृहं प्रकृताश्वमेधम्.
तावत् प्रजापतिमुखैरुपनीयमौञ्जी दण्डाजिनाक्ष वलयादिभिरर्च्यमानः देदीप्यमानवपुरीशकृताग्निकार्यः त्वं प्रास्थिता बलिगृहं प्रकृताश्वमेधम्.
Lakshmi Garu, that first line Maunji is a long E, okay?
Okay. तावत् प्रजापति मुखैरुपनीयमौञ्जी दण्डाजिनाक्ष वलयादिभिरर्च्यमानः देदीप्यमानवपुरीशकृताग्निकार्यः त्वं प्रास्थिता बलिगृहं प्रकृताश्वमेधम्.
तावत् प्रजापतिमुखैरुपनीयमौञ्जी दण्डाजिनाक्षवलयादिभिरच्यमानः देदीप्यमानवपुरीशकृताग्निकार्यः त्वं प्रास्थिता बलिगृहं कृताश्वमेधम्. तावत् प्रजापतिमुखैरुपनीयमौञ्जी दण्डाजिनाक्षवलयादिभिरच्यमानः देदीप्यमानवपुरीशकृताग्निकार्यः त्वं प्रास्थितः बलिगृहं प्रकृताश्वमेधम्
गात्रेण भाविमहिमोचित गौरवं प्राक् व्यावृण्वतेव धरणीं चलयन्न यासीः छत्रं परोष्मतिरनार्तमिवादधानो दण्डं च दानवजनेष्विव सन्निधातुम्. So he says, oh, Krishna, although you were a small boy, like a Brahmana, and you might have seen this photo, right, where Vamana is walking with an umbrella in one hand, and then he has like a staff, a stick in one hand, and then he has a kamandalam, right? That's how typical pictures are. So, when he's walking, he says, all it's saying is you're now headed there. Although you are a small boy, you are already beginning to give an indication, because that umbrella is to ward off all the evil, and the stick is to kind of get rid of the asuras. So, with that, you are now headed to the place where the Ashwamedha Yajnam is being performed. So, Gatrena, and I think it's saying Bhavi Mahimochita, means you say your reputation precedes you, right? So that's what it's saying. You walking like that is already giving an indication of what's going to happen. Gatrena Bhavi Mahimochita Gauravam Prak. Put a ik. So ka, it's a line, right? Ik, prak, comma. Second line, in case your book has a ig in Sanskrit, that will go away. Vyavrinvateva dharanim chalayanna yasihi, long e. Chatram paroshmati ranartam, you can break it that ma if you want, ranartam ivadhadano, comma, dandam cha danava janeshviva sannidhatum. गात्रेण भाविमहिमोचितगौरवं प्राक् व्यावृण्वतेव धरणीं चलयन्न यासीः छत्रं परोष्मतिरनार्तमिवाददानो दण्डं च दानवजनेष्विव सन्निधातुम्.
गात्रेण भाविमहिमोचितगौरवं प्राक् व्यावृण्वतेव धरणीं चलयन्न यासीः छत्रं परोष्मतिरणार्थमिवादधानो दण्डं च दानवजनेष्विव सन्निधातुम्. गात्रेण भावि महिमोचित गौरवं प्राक् व्यावृण्वतेव धरणीं चलयन्न यासीः छत्रं परोष्मतिरणार्थमिवादधानो दण्डं च दानवजनेष्विव सन्निधातुम्.
गात्रेण भावि विमोचितगौरवं प्राक् व्यावृण्वतेव धरणीं चलयन्न यासीः छत्रं परोष्मतिरणार्थमिवादधानो दण्डं च दानवजनेष्विव सन्निधातुम्.
That first line, middle word, mahimochita.
Okay. गात्रेण भावि महिमोचितगौरवं प्राक् व्यावृण्वतेव धरणीं चलयन्न यासीः छत्रं परोष्मतिरणार्धमिवादधानो दण्डं च दानवजनेष्विव सन्निधातुम्.
तां नर्मदोत्तरतटे हयमेधशालाम् आसेदुषे त्वयि रुचातवरुद्धनेत्रैः भास्वान् किमेष दहनोऽनुसनत्कुमारो योगीनुकोऽयमिति शुक्रमुखैः शशङ्के. So before we get this, let's kind of get a relative idea of where this is happening, right? So of course, Kashyapa, Diti, Aditi, they are already in that Swargalokam area, right? So Vamana, when he's born, he's not born in the earthly realm. He's born in the Swargalokam, somewhere where Kashyapa and Aditi are. Bali Maharaja, he's an Asura, so generally they end up being in the lower worlds, but because he has conquered even the upper worlds, he's probably somewhere in any of those worlds. Okay. Now, where the Ashwamedha Yajna is happening though, is happening on the northern banks of the Narmada River in the earthly plane. So when Vamana is coming, he's actually coming down to earth to come and meet Bali Maharaja. Okay, that is a relative position of where things are happening. Now, when this Vamana is coming, now of course is the Bhagavan coming as a brahmachari. All brahmacharis have tejas, they perform Sandhyavanam, they perform Agni Karyam. So the moment you look at somebody, you feel like worshipping them. So this Vamana was no different. The moment he walked in to the place where the Ashwamedha Yajna was being happened, everybody stopped doing what they're doing because they could see somebody special has come, right? And he was lighting up that entire place. That Shukracharya and everybody is stopping and saying, who is this? Is this Bhaswan? Is it Swayam Surya Bhagavan who has come because he's lighting up that place? Or is it Kimesha Dahano? Is it Agni who has actually come? Or the Sanat Kumaras, right? Who have so much potency, that they light up that entire place and they are, capturing the attention of everybody there. So everybody's pausing what they are doing to see who is this boy who has actually come here right now. So Tam Narmado Taratate, so Narmada Uttaratate, northern banks of the Narmada River. Narmado Taratate, Hayamedha Shalam, put a im at the end of that line, comma. Next line, Mase Dushi becomes Ase Dushi. Twai Rucha Tava Ruddha Netraihi. Bhaswan Kimesha Dahano Nu Sanat Kumaro, comma. Yoginu Koyamiti Shukra Mukaish Shashanke. Tam Narmadottarate Hayamedhashalam Ase Dushitwairuchatava Ruddhanetraihi Bhaswan Kimesha Dahano Nusanat Kumaro Yogi Nukoyamiti Shukra Mukaish Shashanke.
तां नर्मदोत्तरतटे हयमेधशालाम् आसे दुषित्वैरुचा तव रुद्धनेत्रैः भास्वान् किमेषदहनोऽनुसनत्कुमारो योगी न कोऽयमिति शुक्रमुखैः शङ्के तां नर्मदोत्तरतटे हयमेधशालाम् आसे दुषित्वैरुचा तव रुद्धनेत्रैः भास्वान् किमेषदहनोऽनुसनत्कुमारो योगी न कोऽयमिति शुक्रमुखैः शङ्के.
तं नर्मदोत्तरतटे हयमेधशालाम् आसे दुषित्वैरुचा तव रुद्धनेत्रैः भास्वान् किमेषदहनोऽनुसनत्कुमारो योगी नुकोऽयमिति शुक्रमुखैः शशङ्के. तां नर्मदोत्तरतटे हयमेधशालाम् आसे दुषित्वैरुचा तव रुद्धनेत्रैः भास्वान् किमेषदहनोऽनुसनत्कुमारो योगी नुकोऽयमिति शुक्रमुखैः शशङ्के.
That's right. Anitamaशु भृगुभिर्बहसाभिभूतैः त्वां रम्यरूपमसुरः पुलकावृताङ्गः भक्त्या समेत्य सुकृती परिणिज्य पादौ तत्तोऽयमन्वदृतमूर्धनि तीर्थतीर्थम्. Continue. So not just Shukracharya, but Bhrigu and everybody who is there, including Bali Maharaja, who looks at Vamana, who looks at the Lord and says, this is some special person. They all, by looking at him, they felt it is some special person. So they kind of give him access to the Yagashala. They get him inside the Yagashala. And like Bali, like he said, he's one of the greatest of people, and that will come later also as what a great personality he is. So he says, if such a great brahmachari has to come, I have to welcome him into the Yagashala. I have to give him the appropriate respect. So he then washes the feet. So Bhattacharya says, he's done so much blessings, right? That he is now able to wash the feet of Vamana and then takes that water, sprinkles Murdhani Tirtha Tirtham, so which is the purest of all the Tirtham, which is the water coming out of your feet. He's then sprinkling it on his head, right? And then he's getting, and all of them are getting Pulaka Vritangaha, means they're all getting like horripilation all over their body. They're all getting so excited because they feel some special person who has actually come here. So Anita Mashu Bhrigubhir Mahasa Bhibhutaihi. Put a visarga at the end of that line. Bhibhutaihi, comma. Next line, that is will go away. Twam Ramya Rupam Asuraha. Is that? Put a F to join. Ramya Rupam Asuraf Pulakavritangaha Bhaktya Sametya Sukruti Parinijya Padau, comma. Tattoyam Anvadrita. If you want to break at that ma. Tattoyam Anvadrita Murdhani Tirtha Tirtham.
Rajesh ji, third line Paripujyan கொடுத்திருக்கேன் எனக்கு.
Okay, just consist Parinijya Padav.
Parinijya.
The Paripuja is to doing the puja of your feet with the water. Parinijya is just washing the feet with the water. It means the same thing, but consistency ki Parinijya. Anitamashu Bhrigubhir Mahasa Bhibhutaihi Twam Ramya Rupamasura Pulaka Vritangah Bhaktya Sametya Sukruti Parinijya Padau Tatto Yamanvadhrita Murdhani Tirtha Tirtham.
Anitamashu Bhrigubhir Mahasa Bhibhutaihi Twam Ramya Rupa Masuraha Pulakavritangaha Bhaktya Sametya Sukruti Parinijya Padau Tatto Yamanva Drita Murdhani Tirtha Tirtham.
Actually, that second line, Ramya Rupam Asuraf. The F will come instead of the Visarga there.
Okay. Anitamashu Bhrugubhir Mahasa Bhibhutaihi Twam Ramya Rupamasura Pulakavritangaha Bhaktya Sametya Sukruti Parinijya Padau Tatto Yamanvadrita Murdhani Tirtha Tirtham.
आनीतमाशु भृगुभिर्महभूतैः त्वां रम्यरूपमसुरः पुलकावृताङ्गः भक्त्या समेत्य सुकृती परिनिज्य पादौ तत्तोयमन्वधृतमूर्धनि तीर्थतीर्थम् आनीतमाशु भृगुभिर्महभिभूतैः.
That word Mahasabhibhutaihi.
आनीतमासु भृगुभिर्महसाभिभूतैः त्वां रम्यरूपमसुरः पुलकावृताङ्गः भक्त्या समेत्य सुकृती परिनिज्य पादौ तत्तोयमन्वधृतमूर्धनि तीर्थम्.
Prahladavanshajataya kratubhirdvijeshu Vishwasatonuttaditam ditichopi lebe Yette padambugirishasya shirobhilalyam Sattvam vibho gurupuralaya palayetaha. So this last, just wrapping up this chapter, saying that what has Bali Maharaja done that he's actually getting access to this, right? So this is the holiest of water, because we're going to see in the next Dasakam that Brahma will wash the tip of the feet of the Trivikrama later on. So that water, which is the holiest of water, how is Bali Maharaja getting access to this? What punyam has he done? She says maybe he was, because he's the grandson of Prahlada. That could be one reason. Because Prahlada is the greatest of devotees. So because he's born in that ancestry, he's got that benefit. or because he's the greatest, he knows how to respect people. So you might call him an asura because he's in that clan, they fight with the devas, but he knows how to respect all the Brahmins, take care of them, or all the good deeds that he has actually done over several lifetimes, because of which he's actually able to wash the feet of the Bhagavan and then get the blessings, right? So with that, this Dashakam comes to an end, saying, please, Guru Arapa, please eradicate all of my ailments as well. Prahlada Vamsha Jataya Kratubhir Dvijeshu, Vishwasato nu tadidam ditijopi lebhe yette padambu girishasya shirobi lalyam, sa tvam vibho gurupuralaya palayetaha. Prahlada vamshajataya kratubhir dvijeshu Vishwasato nu tadidam ditijopi lebhe yette padambu girishasya shirobhilalyam sa tvam vibho gurupuralaya palayetaha.
प्रह्लादवंशजतया क्रतुभिर्द्विजेषु विश्वासतो नु ददिदं दितिजोऽपि लेभे यत्ते पदाम्बुगिरिशस्य शिरोभिलाल्यं सत्वं विभो गुरुपुरालय पालयेताः.
The second line, the middle word, tadidam.
प्रह्लादवंशजतया क्रतुभिर्द्विजेषु विश्वासतो नु तदिदं दितिजोऽपि लेभे यत्ते पदाम्बुगिरिशस्य शिरोभिलाल्यं सत्वं विभो गुरुपुरालय पालयेताः.
प्रह्लादवंशजतया क्रतुभिर्द्विजेषु विश्वासतो नु तदिदं दितिजोऽपि लेभे यत्ते पदाम्बुगिरिशस्य शिरोभिलाल्यं सत्वं विभो गुरुपुरालय पालयेथाः. प्रह्लादवंशजतया क्रतुभिर्द्विजेषु विश्वासतो नु तदिदं दितिजोऽपि लेभे यत्ते पदाम्बुगिरिशस्य शिरोभिलाल्यं सत्वं विभो गुरुपुरालय पालयेथाः.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane.
Dashakam 31, Bali Vidvamsanam, which is like humbling the pride of Bali. So this one follows a 4-liner tune. Prithya Daityah Tavatanumah Prekshanat Sarvatapi Tvamaradhyan Najita Rachayan Anjalim Sanjagata Mattah Kimte Samabhilashitam Viprasuno Vadatvam Vittam Bhaktam Bhavanamavanim Vapi Sarvam Pradasye. So this Bali Maharaja worships Vamana. Like many times, a great personality, a great sadhu or somebody comes to our house, we worship and then we say, what? I really want to help you out, right? I really want to give you something. What do you want, right? And we know we can never give something that might satisfy them, but we at least want to say, whatever I can, I want to offer it to you. So that's how Bali Maharaja is feeling. He's saying, oh Brahmana, you have come here. I feel like this Ashwamedha Yajna is getting brightened and getting more prosperous because of you coming here. And you are such a small boy, like he's a Vatuka, right? He's a small boy. He says, I really want to give you something, right? He says, you tell me what do you want, right? He says, and because he's a Brahmana boy, poor boy, young boy, he says, what do you want? He says, do you want a cow? Because Brahmins need cow for the milk and the ghee and everything that comes from there. Do you want a house? Do you want a girl in marriage? Do you want any elephants or horses, whatever you want? He says, you tell me what do you want, or if you want all of them, I'll give you all of them as well, right? Because I really want to do something to please you. You tell me what you want. So Pritya Daityaha, so that is will go away, put a visarga comma. Tava Tanumaha is there, put a F to join, Tanumaha. Prekshanat Sarvatapi, comma. Tvam Aradhyan Ajita, comma, Rachayan Nanjalim. So it's all, there's an in and a a, but that becomes a double na. That's why you're getting Aradhyan Najita, double na there. Rachayan Nanjalim, double na there. Because Rachayan and Anjalim, two words there. So Rachayan Nanjalim Sanjagada. We'll do two lines. Prithya Daityah Tavatanumah Prekshanat Sarvatapi Twamaradhyan Najita Rachayan Nanjalim Sanjagada.
प्रीत्या दैत्यं तव तनुमः प्रेक्षणात् सर्वतापि त्वामाराध्यन् अजित रचयन् अञ्जलिं संजगाद.
The first line, Daityah, it will end that way.
Okay. प्रीत्या दैत्यः तनुमः प्रेक्षणात् सर्वतापि त्वामाराध्यन्नजित रचयन् अञ्जलिं संजगाद. Yeah, sorry.
प्रीत्या दैत्यः तव तनुमः प्रेक्षणात् सर्वथापि त्वाम् आराध्यन्नजित रचयन्नञ्जलिं संजगाद. प्रीत्या दैत्यः तव तनुमः प्रेक्षणात् सर्वथापि त्वाम् आराध्यन्नजित रचयन्नञ्जलिं संजगाद.
Mattah is there. Put the ih sound to join H. Mattah kim te samabhilashitam, comma, viprasuno vadatvam, comma, vittam bhaktam bhavanamavanim vapi, comma, sarvam pradasye. Mattah kim te samabhilashitam viprasuno vadatvam vittam bhaktam bhavanamavanim vapi sarvam pradasye.
Rajesh, sir. Fourth line, Vyaktam Bhaktam Nevedit.
Okay, I'll change it to vittam.
Vittam.
Yeah, I think some books might have a different word there, but all of these things mean the same, but it's just a different word, different synonym used. That's all. So vittam.
Viktama la vittam.
Vittam, double H. Vittam.
मत्तः किं ते समभिलषितं विप्रसूनो वदत्वं वित्तं भक्तं भवनमवनीं वापि सर्वं प्रदास्ये. मत्तः किं ते समभिलषितं विप्रसूनो वदत्वं वित्तं भक्तं भवनमवनीं vapi sarvam pradasye.
That means the fourth line after vapi, there is a comma. Okay. Bhavanamavanim vapi, comma.
Okay.
मत्तः किं ते समभिलषितं विप्रसूनो वदत्वं वित्तं भक्तं भवनमवनीं वापि सर्वं प्रदास्ये. मत्तः किं ते समभिलषितं विप्रसूनो वदत्वं वित्तं भक्तं भवनमवनीं वापि सर्वं प्रदास्ये.
Answer 2. Tamakshīnām baligiramupakarnya karunya purnopi asyotsekam shamayitumana daitya vamsham prashamsan bhumim padatraya parimitam prarthayamasi tattvam sarvam dihiti tu nigatite kasya hasyam navasyad. So when Vamana heard Bali Maharaja speaking, so nicely in such a pleasant way, respecting him, following the right principles of how to welcome a religious person, how to respond to them, then he first thanks him, saying, of course, you are naturally great, because you are born in the descendant of Prahlada. You have Shukracharya as your guide. So of course, you are always going to follow the right principles, right? So he really thanks him, and he says, that it's well known that anybody who comes to Bali Maharaja asking for help has never been denied. Like we saw even in 27, 28, 29, when Indra himself, who's his enemy, goes and says, "Come help me out. Let's go get the Amrita Madanam." When everybody said no, Bali Maharaja said yes, right? So he's like that. He's always willing to help. But Vamana says, "You know what? All of the things you gave me, I don't need it." He says, "I only need Bhumim Pada Traya Parimitam." He says, "I only need the earth which is occupied by 3 feet of my foot. That is all I need, right? I don't need anything else." Because, Bhattati says, of course, Krishna, Vamana, you could have gone asked for everything. But if you ask for everything, people will ridicule, right? When somebody offers you 100 things, you don't immediately go accept all the 100 things. You always will say no. She said, that's what you also did. She said, "I don't need all the things you're offering. Just give me the land equivalent to 3 of my feet." Tamakshinam Bali Giram Upakarnya, Karunya Purnopi. So if you don't have it, put a P at the end of that line, short E, Purnopi, comma. Next line, the Pya will go away, Pya, that will go away, it become A. Asyotsekam Shamayitumana, comma, Daitya Vamsham Prashamsan. Tamakshīnhām baligiramupakarnya karunyapurnopi asyotsekam shamayitumana daitya-vamsham prashamsan.
तामक्षीणां बलिगिरमुपाकर्ण्य कारुण्यपूर्णोऽपि अस्योत्सेकं शमयितुमना दैत्यवंशं प्रशंसन्. तामक्षीणां बलिगिरमुपाकर्ण्य कारुण्यपूर्णोऽपि अस्योत्सेकं शमयितुमना दैत्यवंशं प्रशंसन्.
तामाक्षीणां बलिगिरमुपाकर्ण्य कारुण्यपूर्णोऽपि अस्योत्सेकं शमयितुमना दैत्यवंशं प्रशंसन्. तामक्षीणां बलिगिरमुपाकर्ण्य कारुण्यपूर्णोऽपि अस्योत्सेकं शमयितुमना दैत्यवंशं प्रशंसन्.
Bhumim Pada-traya Parimitam, Prartayam Asita Tvam, Sarvam Dehiti Tu Nigatite, Kasya Hasyam Navasyat. Bhumim Padatraya Parimitam Prartayamasi Tattvam Sarvam Dehiti Tu Nigatite Kasya Hasyam Navasyat.
भूमिं पादत्रयपरिमितां पार्थयामासितस्त्वं सर्वं देहीति तु निगदिते कास्य हास्यं न वा स्यात्.
The third line, prartaya, pra sound. And then fourth line is kasya hasyam.
Kasya, okay. Bhumim पादत्रयपरिमितां प्रार्थयामासितत्वं सर्वं देहीति तु निगदिते कस्य हास्यं न वा स्यात्.
भूमिं पादत्रयपरिमितां प्रार्थयामासितत्वं सर्वं देहीति तु निगदिते कस्य हास्यं न वा स्यात्. भूमिं पादत्रयपरिमितां प्रार्थयामासितत्वं सर्वदेहीति तु निगदिते कस्य हास्यं न वा स्यात्.
Fourth line, first word, sarvam, im sound, okay there.
Sarvam dehiti tu nigadite.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, we just switch halfway. And Jyoti Chandran, you can be a student, and Shailaja Pravi. Stanza 3. Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim yachase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu kimamunetyalapatvam sadripyan yaspadarpat tripada paripurtya kshamah kshepavadan bandham chasavagamat atadarhopi gadhopashantyai. You have to realize, right? Bali Maharaja is now on top of the 3 worlds. He has performed 99 Ashwamedha Yajnas. He's going to 100. He's going to become the next Indra. So in our context, if you impress Elon Musk and Musk says, I'll give you whatever you want. He's worth 270 billion. And I guess just give me like $100, I'll be happy. Then Musk is going to feel like, I thought you were a smart guy, like that's what Bali Maharaja is saying. Like, I thought I like you so much. I want to help you out so much. But you're showing me that you are like a small boy who's so innocent, who doesn't know anything in this world. He says, what will you get with 3 feet of land? Will you accomplish nothing? And he says, but more than that, Bali Maharaja says, see, it becomes his prestige issue. It's like, you came to me asking for something, and which means that I never want you to go and ask anybody for anything else in the future. So I want you to ask whatever you can, because I never want you to go ask anybody else anything, right? He says, I'll give you 3 feet of land, but I'll give you any amount of land. And he literally says, I will give you an entire, like a region, like a country or something. He says, I'll give it to you, right? Because I don't want you to go beg anymore, right? Because that's the pride he's having, right? He's saying, how can you come to me and ask for just 3 feet of land? That's what he's saying, so please don't do that, but here Bhattacharya says, this is the pride that was building in Bali that eventually will lead to his destruction, right? That eventually he won't even be able to give that. So Vishvesham mam tripada mihakim. He says the entire world is mine, right? And you're asking for 3 feet. Tripada mihakim, comma, yachase balishastvam, comma, sarvam bhumim brinu, comma, kimamunet yalapat tvam. So that word, you cannot break it. So kimamunet yalapat tvam sadripyan. Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim yachase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu kimamunet yalapat tvam sadripyan.
Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim. Sorry. Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim yachase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu kimamunetyalapatvam sadripyan. Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim yachase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu kimamunetyalapatvam sadripyan.
Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim yachase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu kimamunetyalapatvam sadripyan. Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim yachase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu kimamunetyalapatvam sadripyan.
Yasma darpat, comma, tripada paripurtya kshamaha. So that visarga you have to say it because ksha is coming later. So this paripurtya kshamaha kshepavadan, comma, bandham chasa vagamat. So the that is there, we're just going to break it, put a it, chasa vagamat, comma. Next word is start with the a. Atha darhopi gadhopashantye. Yasma darpat tripada paripurtya kshamaha kshepavadan bandham chasa vagamat atha darhopi gadhopashantye.
Yasma darpad tripada paripurtya kshamaha kshepavadan bandham chasavagamad adarhopi gadhopashantye.
Atha darhopi.
Oh, sorry. I have only one. अददर्होऽपि गाढोपशान्त्यै यस्मादर्पाद् त्रिपदपरिपूर्त्यक्षमः चेपवादान् बन्धं चासावगमद् अददर्होऽपि गाढोपशान्त्यै
Rajesh ji, ada garhobia. Da or ga? DH. Darhobi. Ada darhobi. ரெண்டு da வருவாங்க.
Then darhobi.
Ada darhobi. Okay.
यस्माद्दर्पात् त्रिपदपरिपूर्त्य क्षमः क्षेपवादान् बन्धं चासावगमत् अथ दर्होऽपि गाढोपशान्त्यै यस्माद्दर्पात् त्रिपदपरिपूर्त्य क्षमः क्षेपवादान् बन्धं चासावगमत् अथ दर्होऽपि गाढोपशान्त्यै
पादत्रय्या यदि न मुदितो विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येत इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवते दातु कामे ततोऽयं दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामाधेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवाभभाषे. So when Bali says, take whatever you want, like this is too little. So Vamla responds nicely saying, in this world, there is nobody who is ever satisfied with what they have. No matter how much you have, people always are dissatisfied and they want more. So that is a common fact. He says, so there's nothing that is going to keep somebody contented. You should just be contented with what you have. There's no limit to how much it can be. And he says, everybody gets what they are destined to get, and you ought to be contented with it. So he says, even if you give me all the 7 worlds, 7 islands which are there in this Bhulokam, he says, even then I might not be satisfied, because I will then want more. So he says, I'm fine because I know how to control my desires. I know how to control my senses. So this 3 feet of land is all what I want. That's what Vamana says. So at this time, Shukracharya, who is there, Bali Maharaja's guru, he's saying, hold on, because Bali is ready to now offer the 3 feet of land, right? He says, hold on, don't give this because this is Hari Rayamiti. This is nobody other than Hari himself who has come. He has come trying to help the Devas, and you go and give this 3 feet of land. This is going to be the beginning of your destruction. You're going to lose everything, right? So he says, don't give anything to this boy. And Shukracharya also knows what Bali might say. He says, oh, I've already committed. I've already promised. He says, technically you have not. Because he says the way when you're promising something is you put water on a plate, like when we're offering something, right? You put it on a plate, you offer a drop of water, and you have to say Om, and then you offer it. He says you haven't uttered the word Om, and you haven't put the drop of water. So technically you don't have to give it. So if you don't want to give it, you don't have to give it. And he says, don't do it because this is now going to lead to your destruction. So it says ma means no. Padatraya yadi na mudito, vishtapair napi tushyet. Put a it at the end of that line. Next line, if you have a di, that will become an e. Ityuktesmin varada, bhavate dhatu kameta toyam. Padatraya yadi na mudito vishtapairnapi tushyet ityuktesmin varada bhavate dhatu kameta toyam.
पादत्रय्या यदि न मुदितो विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येद इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवते धातु कामेधतोऽयम् पादत्रय्या यदि न मुदितो विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येद इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवते धातु कामेधतोऽयम्
पादत्रय्या यदि न मुदितो विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येत् इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवते दातुकामे ततोऽयं पादत्रय्या यदि न मुदितो विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येत् इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवते दातुकामे ततोऽयम्.
Daityacharyaः, that is, will remove, put a visarga comma. Tava khalu parikshartinah, put a F to join, parikshartinah preranatam, comma. Ma deyam harirayamiti, comma. Vyaktam eva bhabhashe. You can break it that more if you want. Vyaktam eva bhabhashe. Daityacharyaः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवा भभाषे.
दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवा बभाषे. दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवा बभाषे.
दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवा बभाषे. दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवा बभाषे.
याचत्येवं यदि स भगवान् पूर्णकामोऽस्मि सोऽहं दास्यामेव स्थिरमिति वदन् काव्यशब्दोऽपि दैत्यः विन्ध्यावल्या निजदयितया दत्तपाध्यायतुभ्यं चित्रं चित्रं सकलमपि स प्रार्थयत्तोह्य पूर्वम्. So when Shukracharya tells him, don't do it, Bali Maharaj then contemplates for some time and then he responds saying that, I'm coming in that, my, my ancestry and my value is never to take back a word once it's given. So he says, I've already told this boy that I'm going to give him 3 feet of land and I'm not going to take my word back. Second, he says that we are performing all of these great yajnas, right, to please the Supreme Lord, right, which means, and if that Swayam Lord himself has come asking, then why wouldn't I just give him what he wants? That is the right thing to do, because everything we are doing is to reach the Supreme Lord, is to make him happy. And number 3, if this Bhagavan has come begging and asking me something, even if that means it's going to lead to my destruction, I'm going to do that, because that is the right thing to do, right? Even if that's what Bhagavan wants, so be it, because he has come to me for a specific reason, and I cannot say no to Bhagavan. So this is a very nice one, because later on, I think in Dasakam 61 or something, this story going to call Yajva Patni Moksham conversation is going to come, where Krishna and the boys will go meet some Brahmanas who are performing yajna. They'll go ask for food, but the Brahmanas won't give the food. So at that time, that's what, eventually they'll come to the realization, that the whole purpose of doing something is to please the Lord. Now that Bhagavan himself is coming earlier on. Okay, you have not finished all your proceedings, but early on, Bhagavan is coming, give me what you have. Why would you not give it? Right? That's because you didn't realize that it was Bhagavan. So that's what Bali Maharaj is saying. Either he is Bhagavan or he is not. If he's not, I don't have anything to worry, because nobody can defeat me. If he is Bhagavan himself, then why will I not give him what he wants? Right? The whole purpose of doing this is to reach him. So with that, he then, along with his wife, Vindhyavalya, who's coming there, that's his name of his wife. So along with his wife, they put the tirtham and then say, okay, I'm ready to offer you the 3 feet of land. Yachat yevam yadi sa Bhagavan, purna kamosmi soham, dasyameva sthiramiti vadanne, kavya shaptopi daityaha. याचत्येवं यदि स भगवान् पूर्णकामोऽस्मि सोऽहं दास्यामेव स्थिरमिति वदन् काव्यशब्दोऽपि दैत्यः.
याचत्येवं यदि स भगवान् पूर्णकामोऽस्मि सोऽहं दास्याम्येव स्थिरमिति वदन् काव्यशप्तो विदैत्यः याजत्येवं यदि स भगवान् पूर्णकामोऽस्मि सोऽहं दास्यामेव स्थिरमिति वदन् काव्यशप्तो विदैत्यः
याचत्येवं यदि स भगवान् पूर्णकामोऽस्मि सोऽहं दास्यामेव स्थिरमिति वदन् काव्यशप्तोऽपि दैत्यः याचत्येवं यदि स भगवान् पूर्णकामोऽस्मि सोऽहं दास्यामेव स्थिरमिति वदन् काव्यशप्तोऽपि दैत्यः
विन्द्यावल्या निज दयितया दत्त पाध्याय तुभ्यं chitram 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 just means so wonderful. Everybody is praising Bali Maharaja. Shukracharya gets upset and he just walks away, but everybody else is praising Bali Maharaja. So chitram chitram sakala mapisa prarpayat toya purvam विन्ध्यावल्या निजदयितया दत्तपाध्यायतुभ्यं चित्रं चित्रं सकलमपि स प्रार्पयत्तो ह्यपूर्वम्
विन्ध्यावल्या निजदयितया दत्तपाध्यायतुभ्यं चित्रं चित्रं सकलमपि स प्रापयत्तोयपूर्वम् विन्ध्यावल्या निजदयितया दत्तपाध्यायतुभ्यं चित्रं चित्रं सकलमपि स प्रार्पयत्तोयपूर्वम्
विन्द्यावल्या निजदयितया दत्तपाध्यायतुभ्यं चित्रं चित्रं सकलमपि स प्रार्थयत्तोयपूर्वम् विन्द्यावल्या निजदयितया दत्तपाध्यायतुभ्यं चित्रं चित्रं सकलमपि स प्रार्थयत्तोयपूर्वम्
That's a 6. निस्सन्देहं दितिकुलपतौ त्वय्यशेषार्पणं तद्व्यातन्वाने मुमुचुर्षयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षं दिव्यं रूपं तव च तदिदं पश्यतां विश्वभाजाम् उच्चैः अवृददवधीकृत्य विश्वाण्डबाण्डम्. So once Bali Maharajan offers it officially, right? So at the time, once he receives it, now what was called Vamana, like we said, Vamana means a dwarf, right? So that now becomes Trivikrama, which means the one who was conquered all the three worlds. So now the size, Bhagavan's size starts growing up, and he starts becoming bigger and bigger and bigger to the extent that Vishwanda Bhandam, the entire Brahmandam, he's occupied. Like if you remember from Dasakam 6, we did the Virat Purusha Varnanam, right? Where the entire Brahmandam is the body of the Lord, right? Metaphorically speaking. So, each part, each of the worlds are the various layers. So similarly, he assumes a huge size, right? Which is covering the entire cosmos. And that's so everybody in all the three worlds are now able to view it, right? So they say, they all start Pushpa Varsha, they all pray to the Lord. Nissandeham Ditikula Patau, Tvayashesharpanam tad, then put a plus, Vyatanvane, and then put a comma. So first line after Ditikula Patau, comma, then second line after Vyatanvane, comma, Mumuchur Rishayaha, put a is to join, Rishayas, Samaraha, put a F, Samaraf Pushpavarsham. निस्सन्देहं दितिकुलपतौ त्वय्यशेषार्पणं तद्व्यातन्वाने मुमुचुर्षयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षम्.
निस्सन्देहं दितिकुलपदौ त्वय्यशेषार्पणं तद्व्यातन्वाने मुमुचुर्षयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षम्. निस्सन्देहं दितिकुलपदौ त्वय्यशेषार्पणं तद्व्यातन्वाने मुमुचुरुर्षयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षम्.
निस्सन्देहं दितिकुलपतौ त्वय्यशेषार्पणं तत् व्यातन्वने मुमुचुर्ऋषयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षम्.
There is a second line, first word, Vyatanvane.
व्यातन्वाने. Okay, thank you. निस्सन्देहं दितिकुलपतौ त्वय्यशेषार्पणं तद्व्यातन्वाने मुमुचुर्ऋषयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षम्.
Divyam Rupam Tavacha Tadidam, comma, Pashyatam Vishwabhajam, put a im at the end of that line, comma, Vishwabhajam. Next line, the mu will become a u. Uchair Uchaihi. So the ra that is there, we're going to remove it. Uchair Uchaihi, put a visarga, comma. Next word will start with the a. So I'm going to just break that word for those of you who need. It becomes avridhat. So the that is there, you can break it into an it and a if it's easy for you. Avridhat avadhikritya vishwanda bhandam. Divyam rupam tavacha tadidam pashyatam vishwabhajam uchairuchaihi avridhat avadhikritya vishwanda bhandam.
दिव्यं रूपं तव च तदिदं पश्यतां विश्वभाजाम् उच्चैरुच्चैः अवृथदवधीकृत्य विश्वाण्डभाण्डम् दिव्यं रूपं तव च तदिदं पश्यतां विश्वभाजाम् उच्चैरुच्चैः अवृथदवधीकृत्य विश्वाण्डभाण्डम्
दिव्यं रूपं तव च तदिदं पश्यतां विश्वभाजाम् उच्चैरुच्चैः अवधीकृत्य विश्वाण्डभाण्डम् दिव्यं रूपं तव च तदिदं पश्यतां विश्वभाजाम् उच्चैरुच्चैः अवधीकृत्य विश्वाण्डभाण्डम्.
It's a 7. त्वत्पादाग्रं निजपदगतं पुण्डरीकोद्भवोऽसौ कुण्ठितोयैः असि च दपुनाद्यज्जलं विश्वलोकान् हर्षोत्कर्षात् सुबहुननुते केचरैरुत्सवेऽस्मिन् भेरीं निघ्नन् भुवनमचरज्जाम्बवान् भक्तिशाली. So with the first step, the 3 steps which is being offered. So the first step, he goes, the Bhagavan keeps, it occupies everything from earth to all of the bottom worlds. We get 14 worlds, right? So everything from earth and below is occupied with one step. With the second step, all the upper worlds are occupied to the extent that Tvat Pada Agram, the tip of your feet, is reaching Satyaloka where Brahma is there. So Brahma has access to the tip of your feet, and Brahma then along from his kamandalam. So Kundi Toyehi, from his kamandalam, he's taking the water and then washing your feet, because the tip of your feet reaches Satyaloka. So with that, you are covering all the 14 worlds with 2 of your feet, and this entire world is now getting covered. So with that, Jambavan Bhaktishali, so this Jambavan is going to come in all avatarams. So he came here in Vamana avataram. He was also there during the Kurma avataram. He's of course there in Rama avataram, right, in Ramayanam. He's also going to come in Krishna avataram, because Krishna is going to meet Jambavan and marry Jambavati, right? So he comes across all. He's one of those people who's spread across all of these avatarams. So anyway, so they are all very ecstatic. They're all very happy to see this avataram of the Lord, where he shows his true Vishwarupam, right, to everybody, showing how massive he is, right? So Tvat Padagram Nija Pada Gatam, comma, Pundari Kodbhavosau, comma, Kundi Toyehi. So the ra that is there, we're going to remove it, put a visarga, comma, Toyehi. Next word will become a. So I'm again going to break this. So Asichat, the that is there, if you want to, you can put a it and a, it'd be easier. Asichat Apunat Yajalam. Dhya that is there, you can take it into it and a ya if it's easier. So Asichat Apunat Yajalam Vishwalokan. Let's just repeat one time, Jyotiji. We'll finish this off today. Tvatpadhagram nijapadagatam pundarikoddhavosau kundhitoyaihi asichad apunad yajalam vishwalokan.
त्वत्पादाग्रं निजपदगदं पुण्डरीकोद्भवोऽसौ कुण्ठितोयैः असिचदपुनाद्यज्जलं विश्वलोकान्
त्वत्पादाग्र निजपदगतं पुण्डरीकोद्भवोऽसौ कुण्डितो यैः असिचतपुनात् यज्जलं विश्वलोकान्
हर्षोत्कर्षात् सुबहु ननृते केचरैर उत्सवेस्मिन्, easy to say it that way, केचरैर उत्सवेस्मिन्, भेरीं निघ्नन्, भुवनम् अचरज जाम्बवान् भक्तिशाली. हर्षोत्कर्षात् सुबहुनृते खेचरैरुत्सवेस्मिन् भेरीं निघ्नन् भुवनमचरज्जाम्बवान् भक्तिशाली.
हर्षोत्कर्षात् सुबहुननुते खेचरैरुत्सवेऽस्मिन् भेरीं निघ्नन् भुवनमजराजाम्बवान् भक्तिशाली.
The last line, भुवनमचरज.
भुवनमजरजाम्बवान् भक्तिशाली.
हर्षोत्कर्षात् सुबहुननृते केचरैरुत्सवेऽस्मिन् भेरीन्निघ्नन् भुवनमचरज्जाम्बवान् भक्तिशाली.
तावद्दैत्यास्त्वनुमतिमृते भर्तुरारब्धयुद्धाः देवोपेतैर्भवदनुचरैः सङ्गता भङ्गमापन् कालात्मायं वसति पुरतो यद्वशात् प्राग्जिता स्मः किं वो युद्धैरिति बलिगिरा तेतपातालमापुः. So now the asuras came to know that we've been tricked, right? Like, although Shukracharya said that, now they are really seeing them getting tricked. So they know this Devas behind this because the god has come to help the Devas. So a battle now starts between the Devas and the Asuras, right? The Asuras are pissed at this. So however, Bali Maharaja is coming and saying, don't. This is when the god himself is standing in front of us and he's pretty much taken over the entire world. What is the use of us trying to fight with the Devas? So he says it doesn't make sense. So he himself comes and tells them to stop fighting, and then the asuras go away. Tavat daityas tvanumati mrite, bhartur arabdha. You can break that ra if you want. Bhartur arabdha yuddhaha devo petay bhavadanucharaihi. So that is there goes away. Visarga ucharaihi. Sangata bhangamapan. तावद्दैत्यास्त्वनुमतिमृते भर्तुरारब्धयुद्धाः देवोपेतैर्भवदनुचरैः सङ्गता भङ्गमापन्.
तावद्दैत्यास्त्वनुमतिमृते भर्तुरारब्धयुद्धाः देवोपेतैर्भवदनुचरैः सङ्गता भङ्गमापन्.
तावद्दैत्यास्त्वनुमतिमृते भर्तुरारब्धयुद्धाः देवोपेतैर्भवदनुचरैः सङ्गदा भङ्गमापन्.
कालात्मायं वसति पुरतो यद्वशात् प्राग्जिताः पुट इस प्राग्जितास् स्मः किं वो युद्धैर इति बलिगिरा तेत पातालमापुः. कालात्मायं वसति पुरतो यद्वशात् प्राग्जिता स्मः किं वो युद्धैरिति बलिगिरा तेत पातालमापुः.
कालात्मायं वसति पुरतो यद्वशात् प्राग्जिता स्मः किं वो युद्धैरिति बलिगिरा तेथ पातालमापुः.
कालात्मायं वसति पुरतो यद्वशात् प्राग्जिता स्मः किं वो युद्धैरिति बलिगिरा तेत पातालमापुः.
पाशैर्बद्धं पतगपतिना दैत्यमुच्चैरवादीः तार्तीकं दिश मम पदं किं न विश्वेश्वरोऽसि पादं मूर्ध्नि प्रणय भगवन् इत्यकम्पं वदन्तं प्रह्लादस्तं स्वयमुपगतो मानयन्नस्तवीत्वाम्. So this Trikrama is telling Bali then, okay, you said you are the ruler of all the three worlds. You had all the three worlds under your control. Now pretty much I have occupied all the two worlds, right? With my two steps. So now where do I put my third step? I don't have a place for the third step. So at that time, Bali Maharaj says, even I have nothing with me because you've taken over all the three worlds, right? So there's nothing more to offer because technically he can't even offer himself because within the three worlds, everything is covered, which is covered in two steps. So he says, essentially what Bali is doing is he's saying, I'm surrendering myself, right? I'm just surrendering myself and doing prostrations to you, and you can rest your feet on my head because even that also you're covered when you covered all the three worlds. But that is all I can offer you. All I can offer you is just me. Right? With that, Bali Maharaja then surrenders. So Prahlada is also coming there. At that time, he also comes there and praises Bali, because even though Bali knew that he's going to be tricked, right? Because he realized it's Bhagavan, he's willing to go through whatever it is and give everything that he has, which is what has happened here. So Pashair Badham Pata Gapatina, comma, Daityam Uchaira Vadihi. Put a Visarga and comma there. Next time, if you have a is, that will go away. Tarthi ekam, double th coming there. Tarthi ekam disha mama padam, comma, kimna vishveshwarosi. Pashairbadham patagapatina daityamuchairavadihi. Tarthi ekam disha mama padam, kimna vishveshwarosi.
आशेर्बद्धं पदकपतिना दैत्यमुच्चैरवादीः तात्तीयिकं दिश मम पदं किं न विश्वेश्वरोऽसि
पाशैर्बद्धं पदपदिना दैत्यमुच्चैरवादीः तार्तीयिकं दिश मम पदं किं न विश्वेश्वरोऽसि
Padam Murdni Pranaya Bhagavan. There's a double n and a e. We'll first going to break it, put a in Bhagavan, comma. Next word will start with the e. Itya Kampam Vadantam Prahladastam Swayam Upagato, comma. Manayan Nastavit Twam. So double it. Manayan Nastavit Twam. पादं मूर्ध्नि प्रणय भगवन् इत्यकम्पं वदन्तं प्रह्लादस्तं स्वयमुपगतो मानयन्नस्तवीत्वाम्.
पादं मूर्ध्नि प्रणय भगवन् इत्यकम्पं वदन्तं प्रह्लादस्तं स्वयमुपगतो मानयन्नस्तवीत्वाम्
पादं मूर्ध्नि प्रणय भगवन् इत्यकम्पं वदन्तं प्रह्लादस्तं स्वयमुपगतो मानयन्नस्तवीत्वं वीत्वाम्
दर्पोचित्यै विहितमखिलं दैत्यसिद्धोऽसि पुण्यैः लोकस्तेस्तु त्रिदिव विजयी वासवत्वं च पश्चात् मत्सायुज्यं भजस पुनरद्यन्वगृह्णा बलिं तं विप्रैः सन्तानितमखवरः पाहि वातालयेश. Bhagavan then tells Bali that all of this was done to completely eliminate your pride, right? So because the first step towards reaching Bhagavan, to reaching liberation, is to first remove all the pride that you have, right? Amongst how great we are or all the great things we have actually done. That is number one. Second is, you should not think anything is yours. You should always believe everything is to Bhagavan, and you have to completely surrender, which is the lesson that Bali Maharaja is learning. So Bhagavan says, Bali, you are a great person, right? And you are ready to reach me. But there was something which was blocking you, which is the pride that you actually had in yourself, and you believe that you owned all of these things. So this was a lesson to eliminate the pride that Bali had and to remove everything that he has. So now he feels, I have nothing with me. Right? And then he surrendered to the Bhagavans. He says, because of this, right now you're going to go back to the Sutala region, where the Asuras are ruling. However, when the next Manu comes, so right now we are in the Vaivaswata Manu, 7th Manu. When the next Manu comes, you are going to become the next Indra. right? And then you are going to rule over the Swargalokam and everything. So that's a blessing that's been given. So Bali will, like I said, Indra is a post. Different people occupy that post. So the next Manu, this Bali who was there, it becomes the next Indra. So with that, you bless him. And the whole purpose of this is to eliminate the pride and not think that you have everything. And always remember that anything and everything will eventually go away if Bhagavan wants, right? Just be thankful. That is the lesson which is learning. And Bali, because he completely surrendered, he's going to get liberated later. So with that, this comes to an end. And Vamana also helps Bali complete that yajna which he was doing. So that yajna also comes to a completion. Darpochityai vihitam akhilam, daitya siddhosi punyaihi. Put a visargan, punyaihi. On loka, there is a ir that will go away. Lokastestu tridiva vijayi, vasavatvam cha paschat. Darpochitte vihitamakilam daitya siddhosi punyaihi lokastestu tridiva vijayi vasavatvam cha paschat.
Darpochitye vihidamakilam daitya-siddhosi punyaihi lokastestu tridiva vijayi vasavatvam cha paschat.
Darpochityai vihitamakilam daitya siddhosi punyaihi lokastestu tridiva vijayi vasavatvam cha paschat.
Matsayujyam, which is eventually after you become Indra, you will then attain union with me. Matsayujyam bhaja cha punarityanva grinna. That word you cannot break it. So punarityanva grinna balim tam, viprais santanita makavaraha, pahi vatala esha. Ugravarpa, please help me out. Matsayujyam bhajasa punarityanva grinna balim tam viprai santanita makhavaraha pahi vatalayesha.
Matsayujyam bhajaja punarityanya ghrana balim tvam viprai sandani damakhavaraha pahi vatalayesha.
Jyotiji, third line, last word is tam, not tvam.
Balim tam. Matsayujyam bhajaja punarityanya ghrana balim tam viprai sandani damakhavaraha pahi vatalayesha.
Matsayujyam bhaja cha punarityanva ghrana balim tam viprai santanitamakavaraha pahi vatalayesha.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namah. Sandhranandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam kalaheshavadibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashatasahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre punarurpurushartatmakam brahmatattvam tattavadbhati sakshat guru pavanapure hanta bhagyam jananam kahena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayami.
Rajeshri, or additional information I wish to give everybody. Yeah. There is a temple for Vamana in Ernakulam, Trikkakara. Actually, நம்ம வந்து இந்த இது வைப்போம் இல்லையா, பூக்களத்தோட நடுவுல இந்த 3 இது வைப்போமே, அது வந்து திரிக்காக்கரை அப்பனே ஆக்கும். Every day that பூக்களம் பூஜை பண்றது is திரிக்காக்கரை அப்பன். That திரிக்காக்கரை அப்பன் is Vamanan. It is very near to Ernakulam South.
Oh, okay.
During Onam, actually.
Yeah.
That is where Onam started in that temple abdinu aidiham. It is a Deepam also.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh.